What's up guys, Casual back again, and in today's video I wanted to talk about an interesting quote we got from Crystal Dynamics and Paul Tassie's article from Monday about the potential of seeing more heroes come to the game in smaller events in the future and what that can possibly mean for the future of the game. As well as some heroes I think this approach will work best for, so make sure to drop a like on today's video and subscribe if you're new to catch new videos on all things Marvel's Avengers. So with that said, let's get to it. So in my last video, I touched on some of the things Paul Tassie had to say in his article about Spider-Man, and in his conversation with the devs at Crystal Dynamics, he asked about the possibility of seeing more heroes come to the game in small events similar to what we're seeing from Spider-Man, and they responded by saying that they would absorb feedback on Spider-Man's event and act accordingly. Now this is super interesting because many players aren't optimistic about the future of the game, primarily because they don't see a scenario where characters like Ant-Man, Falcon, or Vision make it into the game because such high priority has been put on bringing every new character to the game with a single player style campaign and introducing new villains and enemies to the story through the events of that hero's story. And while this has been counted as new content, both players who want more focus on multiplayer content and players who just want to be able to play as new heroes are left disappointed because once you finish the new heroes campaign, there isn't much reason to revisit it, and it's single player, so you can't even play through it with your friend. But the introduction of Spider-Man changes things because he's not coming in the same way as Kate Bishop and Black Panther. He's essentially being dropped in the game with a cutscene to introduce him, and everything else about him will be fleshed out through audio clips and emails unlocked by completing his challenges. And while a lot of people have complained about him coming with no new missions or story, a lot of players accept the developer's explanation that because he's a PlayStation exclusive, it wouldn't make sense to give him missions or a story that most players won't have access to. But after waiting for his release for over a year, I understand why players are underwhelmed by such a small release. The explanation for that mostly falls at the feet of Sony because they insisted that his release be delayed to coincide with the lead up to No Way Home's release, allegedly, so I can understand the spot the devs were put in. But once players actually get to play as him for themselves, and if reception to him is mostly positive, aside from people who cover the game to get hate clicks and angry players who don't have PlayStations, that could encourage the release of other heroes in small events in the future, possibly opening the door to more hero releases within a year's time, because as it is right now, we're lucky to see 4 characters in a year because of delays and so much work and effort being put into the additional content that surrounds each character. They put so much time and effort into creating new and unique environments as well as new bosses and enemies, as well as how much work it takes to create and balance the heroes themselves, so being able to focus solely on building new heroes should theoretically speed things up significantly as far as hero releases. Of course, some heroes should absolutely come with new expansions like Captain Marvel and Doctor Strange, but heroes like Falcon, War Machine, and Ant-Man and the Wasp could easily just be added to the roster with a cutscene and audio clips to introduce them and update players on how they've been operating in the game's universe. Throw in some cool costumes and fun gameplay and I think most players would be happy. Running through hives and villain sectors won't feel as tedious because now you're leveling up a fun new character. So this could hold fans over while bigger and better content is being worked on, because as a live service game, things are always being worked on and planned for future content. So I think bringing in smaller heroes and smaller events makes a lot of sense for the game. And I think at the very least, those kind of releases should increase the expected hero amount per year to at least 6. So hopefully this event puts that in perspective for the dev team, and while Spider-Man wasn't the best hero to choose for a small event from an optics perspective, he ultimately could change the future course of the game going forward. But that's everything I got for today's video. You guys let me know down below what side you fall on. Would you prefer to just see more heroes and you don't care much about them coming with missions and stories, or do you think new heroes have to come with expansions? Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed today's video, and subscribe to catch more Marvel's Avengers news and content every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.